For years, the media has been talking about what they call the blue state exodus. People moving from high tax parts of the world like California to lower tax parts of the same country. But they're missing one very important point, which I'm going to discuss in this video. Hey, I'm Andrew Henderson. Everyone from Zero Hedge to Fox Business, traditional media to alternative media has talked about this blue state exodus for years. And it's easy to see why in already high tax countries like the United States. Now, this isn't just limited to the United States. People in Montreal, for example, might want to go live somewhere else in Canada that's more pro-business and that's more tax-friendly. But in the United States in particular, this has been a topic for many years. People moving from California, from New Jersey, from Illinois to places like Arizona, Nevada, Florida, Tennessee, places that don't have a state tax or that have a much lower state tax and that are also much more open for business. I lived in Arizona for years, and quite frankly, dealing with the state government was actually not that difficult. From registering an LLC, getting a trade name, paying different bills, it was actually relatively straightforward. Yet in the 6 months I spent in California, I saw just how difficult the government is to deal with, and to add insult to injury, they take up to 13.3% of your money as I'm making this. But here's the one thing that I think the media misses. They focus on people leaving. They talk about the Maryland millionaire tax and how people are, as I say, going where they're treated best. Yes, it's only human nature. They talk about the people, they talk about the businesses. Everyone from Hertz to the makers of bubble wrap left New Jersey. They're going to states where it's easier to run a business. But why not go to just a state? Why not consider all of the potential countries? I've talked about this for years. If you're already moving, why not go for it? You see, I look at the human level of this. People come to me, they want to put together an offshore strategy. And one of the key things I really pay attention to, we've spent years honing this, is learning how to really communicate on that human level that a big accounting firm that's only focused on the tax side might not focus on. Because no tax plan is any good if you won't do it. So the big thing that I hear is, Andrew, I've got to wait until my son graduates high school, or I've got a couple kids. That's something for later. There are a lot of psychological barriers. Now, my parents talked about moving overseas when I was 11 or 12 years old. We didn't. And I look back and say, I wish they would have, because my reasons as an 11-year-old for not wanting to move were dumb. I was 11 years old. Liking some girl in school, that didn't work out. I should have just moved and experienced, and I think I would have been a lot richer for it. Obviously, I'm here. I made it here eventually, and whether you choose to move or not, your kids will probably be fine. But the biggest barrier is, I can't move. Andrew, I love that you're doing the offshore thing, but come on, you don't have kids. Up until recently, it was, but you're single. And what I've decided is, for my life, whether I'm married, as I now am, in the future if I have kids, I'm just going to make it happen. But that's a hard thing to convince people. And so when I say you're moving from California to Florida to save on tax, what's the difference in moving from California to Puerto Rico? Okay. And if that works for you, then great. Or what's the difference in moving from California to Panama? Okay. What is the difference between Miami, San Juan, or Panama City? There's plenty of jokes. They probably have more people who speak English in Panama City. So what I see is it's easier to make a decision where there's well-worn territory. You know people who have gone from California to Miami. Grant Cardone talked about that. He said, I'm sick of California. They're screwing me, so I'm going to Florida. You probably don't know somebody, unless you're in these circles, who moved to Puerto Rico or moved offshore, and that seems scary. What I think is important is, number one, being self-aware of that. Being aware that potentially moving out of your home country is concerning. Even moving to an island within your home country is concerning. But once you're taking the action, once you're packing up the moving truck, once you're heading out, everything that you've been concerned about is already happening. Your kids are going to change schools. Your wife is going to have to find a new, brunch place with her friends. You have to find, new people to hang out with. I mean, all those things are going to change whether you move 50 miles away or 5,000 miles away. So what I think is worth considering is, if you are a high net worth person, setting up a plan B first. Let's say you live in California or New York or New Jersey or Montreal, somewhere with high taxes that's not business friendly. Perhaps you want to go and start up by opening a bank account somewhere overseas. Take some time and travel and explore other places, and trust that your money will not be lost when you put it in a bank in another country. Maybe you make a real estate investment somewhere else. Maybe you spend your summers in another country. You go and find that villa, that elusive villa for rent in Tuscany. Do something to get yourself out of your comfort zone, to realize that there is a trail that others that have not taken, and that trail still works just as well. Because when I look at people moving from state to state to reduce their state tax or to eliminate their state tax, they're really only solving a very small piece of the puzzle. The United States or Canada or whatever other country, most of the tax is on the federal level. These little local taxes, they add up and they are annoying. And if you're making $1 million a year, maybe you can save $100,000. But if you're making $1 million a year, you could save $400,000 if you just move yourself a little bit further. The conversation I want to start is one where we not only gain self-awareness, all of us, on the things that hold us back from doing certain things but not other things, but also starting to dip our toe into an environment where we're comfortable with the idea that just because someone else that we know hasn't done it, we can't be pioneers. We can't make this an adventure. Why not move to Puerto Rico? Why not move somewhere else? If you're already moving, consider that. That's the conversation I want to start. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson from Nomad Capitalist. I wrote this book, which you can find on Amazon, to distill a lot of the stuff we talk about in these videos and a lot of the stuff I've learned over the last decade plus, traveling all around the world, teaching you about how to legally reduce your taxes, build your personal freedom, and create wealth faster. Definitely get a copy of this book if you want to learn more. Now, if you want to watch more videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel and make sure you click the notifications bell so you never miss one of our new videos with more tips on how to go where you're treated best. And if you're already a 6- or 7-figure entrepreneur and you'd like to put these strategies in place for yourself, go to nomadcapitalist.com and learn about how I can help you.